What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy is back hitting you guys up with my wild card weekend review and my prediction for next week's divisional round in the 2015-2016 NFL playoffs. Now, before I get into this, I want to say a couple of things. This year's wild card weekend had to be one of the best wild card weekends in recent memory. Like every single game had some kind of twist or some weird, strange outcome, but it was exciting nonetheless. Oh yeah, and this is also the first time that every single away team in the wild card actually pulled off a win. Some of those wins were due to the fact that a couple of those teams came from a weak division, but I'll get into that in just a second. Yeah, as far as if you guys seen my last video, I'll post a link in the description. If you see my last prediction video, I was 3 for 4 in my wild card weekend predictions. Now let's start off with the Kansas City Chiefs and Houston Texans game. Now I picked the Houston Texans to win by I believe 6 points, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking about picking them. I mean, I know why I picked them. I picked them because they were at home, and I thought they'd have a little bit of an advantage. Oh yeah, and by the way, like before I even really get into the actual play-by-play of the game, I want to say the Chiefs by far had the Chiefs and the Texans both by far had the easiest game to play because all the other teams had to battle in some kind of elements. I mean, come on, the Seahawks had to play a game in what -1 degree weather. The Bengals and the Steelers had to play in rain. The Redskins and the Green Bay Packers, they had to play with 35-mile-an-hour winds. The Chiefs and the Texans had the safest game. They were playing in a dome when it's 55, 60 degrees. But yeah, I mean, like overall, like this is, I mean, they showed that the Chiefs really did show that they were for real. And yeah, like I said, the Texans came out of a weak division, so yeah, they kind of didn't really belong in the playoffs. The only reason why they got in was because of a technicality. It's rare that a team over 500, well, under 500 that makes it in the playoffs does anything in the postseason. But I mean, hey, you gotta stick somebody in there. But when now Davis returned that 106, the opening kick for a 106-yard touchdown, that was probably the beginning of the end. And ever since that happened, the they lost momentum. Well, the Texans lost momentum. And as soon as J.J. Watt went down, I'm like, oh my God, now it really is over. Because if you think about it, they had no quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins was the only offense they had. They didn't really have that much of a running game to the second half. I mean, because they didn't really had much of a running game all year because of Arian Foster. But then again, neither has the Chiefs because of Jamal Charles' Achilles injury. I think he injured either his Achilles or his ACL. It was a lower injury. But anyway, those injuries are crucial to a running back. But Alex Smith, I mean, he showed that he's probably one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next round of the playoffs. Now, this had to be the game of this has had to be the best game of Wild Card Weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers, my squad, versus the Cincinnati Bengals. They were going into a hostile territory, and I knew going into this game. I mean, with it being with two division rivals going at it, it really doesn't get no better than that. But yeah, I mean, you knew it was going to be chippy. You knew there was going to be fights. You knew it was going to be dirty plays, dirty hits, and you knew that there was going to be probably an injury here or there. Um, the Bengals, let me go ahead and start with the Steelers. The Steelers defense stood strong for the first 3 quarters. I mean, like, they knew that they had to step it up, especially Antoine Blake, because our secondary has been kind of suspect and questionable, but they really did step up. I mean, and whenever our secondary was slacking, our linebackers did more than enough to pick up the slack. I mean, they put pressure on AJ McCarron. They sacked him, they hurried him up, they made him uncomfortable, and they put a complete stop on the run. Their running game didn't really get going until it was almost too late. But yeah, and Martavis Bryant, I mean, like Big Ben said that he wanted to push Martavis Bryant a little bit. He says he questions his toughness. There's no more questioning his toughness now. I mean, because he had the very first catching touchdown of the game, and you got to really give him props for that. Now, of course, there was chippiness. Reggie Nelson was one of the first people to be hurt because, prior to that play, he got into it with one of the Steelers sideline guys, or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, I normally don't dig too deep into this, but I think his leg injury was kind of karma because he ended up targeting Le'Veon Bell's knee and tearing his MCL, putting him out for the last game. So that's kind of a little bit of karma. But yeah. Oh yeah, and our backup guys, Fitzgerald Toussaint, our backup running back, he showed that all he needed was a little bit of a warm up to get going. I mean, like people doubted our backup running game, but he showed that he can get the job done as well. It might not be the prettiest, but yeah, I mean, at least he got it done. And oh yeah, this was very very ugly. At the end of the game, and this is probably what saved the Pittsburgh Steelers from a loss. When Antonio Brown went down, when Big Ben and Antonio Brown both went down. I mean, I was like, yes. I mean, because I was watching the game in the sports, but I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh my god, I hope he's all right. Oh yeah, by the way, Vontaze Burfict is probably the dirtiest player in the NFL right now, or at least top 3 dirtiest player. But then again, what can you expect in the AFC? I mean, because in the entire AFC North division, like that entire division is known for smash mouth, hard hitting defense. So you can't really take that away from him because I mean, even a guy like me, even though I might not like him or be a fan of him, I gotta appreciate a hard hitting defense. But AJ Green is pretty much the only offense that the Bengals had. So I mean, well, what else can you do? What else can you do besides you can't put all the pressure on one man and expect to win. I don't care how good your defense is. But then again, they say defense wins championships. But all in all, it was a very good win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was nervous. I mean, because as soon as Big Ben went down and not let's see, our backup quarterback, what the hell is his name? Yeah, Landry Jones, he's trash. But as soon as he threw the interception, I was like, oh my god, that's over. And I almost walked out of the sports bar. But then, as soon as the running back from the Bengals fumbled it, I was like, oh my god! Like, I mean, it's like it was unbelievable. It's almost like something you see out of a football movie, and that's exactly what it was. But yeah, like I'm just very glad for the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, good win for them. But anyway, the Vikings versus the Seahawks, and this was the sleeper game because it was a really low scoring game, and I kind of figured when it's a low scoring game, it always does come down to the fourth quarter, and they've been the Seahawks have been and water was good. But the Seahawks, they've been criticized all year long about their line because their line's been kind of weak. Because Russell Wilson, he's been throwing the ball before he wants to, and he's been getting sacked a lot. And he's normally people normally know him as one of the top dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL today, at least top 5. But that has not been the case this year. They've been able to telegraph where he's going to be and slow him down. All defenses have keyed in on that, but it seems like the defense for the defense for the Vikings wasn't really good enough to slow him down because it seems like the more they hit him, the more accurate he started to throw. And people also question people never question his throwing arm as far as his power, as far as his throwing arm. But people always question the accuracy of his throwing arm. But he made the play when it mattered the most. And I mean, I love Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is one of my guys. I mean, he's one of the up and comers, but they didn't really do much to impress me. I mean, it was very, very back and forth, throughout the entire game, but they just didn't really do enough. And especially the last play. I mean, some people say, well, who misses a 27-yard field goal? You try kicking a ball. You try kicking a ball with it being -1 degree outside and with the sun in your eyes, and you're kicking the opposite direction. You try it. It's not that easy. But yeah, the Seahawks end up going to the next round. And last but not least, the Redskins versus the Green Bay Packers, and this is also one that I predicted correct. Everybody questioned whether Kirk Cousins was for real or not. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter how real he is. The Washington Redskins proved to be a one-trick pony. They proved to be they got exposed in this game. I mean, like, they do good. I mean, like, how good can you do, against teams that are under 500? Yes, you do good against mediocre teams, but it seems like when you play a championship caliber team, that's when you start to make the most mistakes. But, oh yeah, and Aaron Rodgers, he showed you once again why he's top 10, even top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. And their running game really did impress me, too. The Packers running game impressed me a lot in this game, especially, with Eddie Lacy and James Starks. They really did show up today with I think they got over 125 yards total in this game. But, yeah, they did a real good job. And they really did show that they're going to give them a fight in the next round of the playoffs. But anyway, this is what the divisional bracket of the playoffs looks like. Now, for the next round of the playoffs, we got the New England Patriots, always dangerous, versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they prove that they are for real and they can hang with the best of them. But they're going up against a high-powered New England Patriots offense. And On top of that, they've had a bye week and they're in Foxborough on the Patriots' home turf. Now, having a bye week can either be a gift or a curse, depending on how you look at it, because maybe the Chiefs being the wild card, maybe they don't lose steam. Maybe this could help their momentum, and maybe New England has, you know, maybe it's made them rusty. Maybe hopefully they don't have any ring rust, or maybe their time off hasn't made them softer or made them lazy. But more likely it hasn't. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these two offenses go against each other because their defenses, both defenses have holes in them. But I believe that this is going to probably be the highest scoring game out of this round of the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if the final score of this game was like 45-42. But I'm just going to go with I'm going to go with the New England Patriots by 3 points in this round of the playoffs. Now, next round, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Denver Broncos at Denver. Now, Peyton Manning, he's back, and the Denver Broncos probably have the top three defense in the league right now. Well, at least, probably, maybe even, I'll go as far as to say the top two secondaries. But there's holes in their defense as far as their line, as far as their D line and their linebackers, which Big Ben could probably exploit if he's healthy. And I mean, like I said, you already know what the story is with the New England, with the not the New England Patriots, but the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are potentially the most dangerous team in the playoffs if they're healthy. D'Angelo Williams, they say he may play, but there's no word on Big Ben, and there's no word on Antonio Brown. He's probably gonna miss the game, due to concussion protocol. But hey, Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they're not the type of team to put all their eggs into one basket. They do have a plan B, C, and D. Martavis Bryant, Marcus Wheaton, and Darius Hayward-Bay. Darius Hayward-Bay has been kind of quiet this year, but he's made big catches when they matter the most. But I believe this game is going to come down to turnovers and who makes the most mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. Peyton Manning's probably going to be starting, not Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler did a pretty good job, with his little run. But is Peyton Manning going to be able to carry this team all the way to the next round of the playoffs? We'll see. But no, all bias aside, even though I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, this is just me, my unbiased opinion. I'll say the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take it by, I'm going to say a touchdown. Anyway, next round, we got the Arizona Cardinals, probably the most slept-on team in the playoffs, versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers, they always come to play. They always bring it, and they're pretty much the most well-balanced team that you could think of. I mean, but you can say the same thing about the Arizona Cardinals. But the thing is, I don't know what it is about the Cardinals. It just seems like they are missing something. I don't know what it is, but it seems like they're missing something that can elevate them from just a good team to a championship caliber team, because they don't have any particular weaknesses to exploit, but they don't have any real strength either, or at least not over the Green Bay Packers that you can really see. So this one's going to kind of come down to who also can outscore who, because the defense on both teams are going to be pretty damn solid. But if you ask me, I'm going to give this one to the Green Bay Packers by 10 points. This is just me. This is just what I think about it. Now the last round, the last game, the rematch that everybody's been waiting for since last year, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. Now we all see how last year turned out, but I mean, I figured that this game was gonna happen again. If I figured if it wasn't gonna be in the divisionals, I figured it's gonna be in the AFC Championship game, and it would be well deserved too. But the Carolina Panthers, they are the real deal. They have proved that they can hang with the best of them. They are this year. They proved that they can be on fire. They haven't slowed. They haven't no signs of slowing down. This bye week could help them more than hurt them. Just to rest their players and whatnot. Their secondary is dangerous, almost on par with the Legion of Boom. The Seattle Seahawks call this secondary. But the Seattle Seahawks, their offense is very good. I mean, this game is pretty much almost like a mirror match. I mean, good, pretty above average defense with exceptional offense and with a quarterback with a great arm and who can also run. And this one is going to be a very close one too. But I mean, it's not going to be the same. I mean, it's going to be the same type of game, but it's going to be a different result. I'm going to give this one to the Carolina Panthers by 3 points. But anyway, guys, that's my wild card weekend review and my prediction for next week's round of the playoffs. Anyway, you guys, you know what to do. Comment below what you thought of the wild card weekend and put it in your predictions. What are your predictions for the divisional round of the playoffs? Anyway, I'm out, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.